We're live.
Hola.
Hola.
So, oh, this is Donna's phone, right? So it's not you
It's Donna's.
presenting. So this is, I'm here with Tim van der Vliet, my dear beautiful friend, author of Spiritual Awakening the Easy Way, of another book that's in Dutch, but roughly translates as...
No, I want you to pronounce, say
In Dutch?
Yeah, says
Inkty donkty blinkty blink. Blinky flonky.
which is translated to English, and that you really don't understand anything, do you?
Yeah.
About life lessons from daily life and having children and raising them or being raised by them.
And what I just said that in Dutch. With, my accent perhaps isn't the best, but that's exactly what the words are.
It is.
Inkty
I'm moved.
Yeah.
I'm moved.
Leck de schnicken.
But we're not talking about children today.
It's like happy German. That's what Dutch language is. It's like if you get the German language and then make it happy, it's Dutch.
Well, yeah, I think the Germans would think different. Like
They know. I think they know.
yeah, like in English you say Van Gogh, but we say Van Gogh.
You can't say that on Facebook.
Oops.
That
No,
actually, right, okay. It's Van Gogh. Van Gogh, in that the correct pronunciation of Van Gogh is that it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or really, if you say it really quickly, it's just you sound like an angry cat. But this is a serious video. We've got serious things to say because we are serious mind, body, spirit teachers, or you are.
Well, you're too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're not talking about children today, although we're talking about being a child eventually. We're talking about body zen.
Yeah.
About taking consciousness and but then from a body perspective. So
it's a good point saying about mention children, because this is the thing we keep referencing all of the time, which is there's all this energy we have as children, and then we grow up and we drive past the school playground at break time. We see all these children running around, and we kind of feel exhausted looking at it, and then ask questions: where do they get the energy from? Do you know, that's the question, isn't it? Where do they get all their energy from? Where do they get all their energy from? That's not the right question. The question is, where has ours gone? Where has ours gone? Because that energy that's innate. It's bursting through them through just being human. That's what's happening. So where has ours gone? It's been submerged. It's by lifestyle, by constant thinking that keeps us in kind of negative feeling cycle loops that drains our energy, brings us down. It's a conspiracy of details in the outside and world and within us that mean that we don't wake up feeling bursting with that energy, within us anymore. And that's where, Tim just come over from the Netherlands to do this wonderful presentation at one of our monthly events, and it was titled Body Zen. And what Tim was presenting there was kind of pulling together his kind of philosophy and approaches. And the cool thing that's different about Tim is he really focuses on the body when it comes to mind, body, spirit guidance, an area that's sorely neglected in the mind, body, spirit world. In fact, you go to a mind, body, spirit fair, and you'll always, if you're looking for body, it will be noticeable by its absence. Where's the body? In fact, a lot of the time the mind isn't there too, right? It's a lot of spirit and soul, but not so much mind and virtually no body. What Tim has always done is brought the body back into mind, body, spirit, and I love that. And the reason being is we do all this inner work with our thoughts and our feelings, but here's something that's really true. The body is a fantastic entry point into spiritual well-being. The body is a fantastic entry point in that if you feel physically energized, it's really hard to feel unhappy. It's really hard. It's a lot more difficult. If you feel physically invigorated, you tend to feel more inspired within yourself too. Right?
You feel like a child. That's
like
exactly
child,
what's happening. If you have this energy, if you feel your body and you feel the energy flow in your body, you become healthier and happier, of course. But you feel much more like a child, because that is what is a child doing? It's waking up, and then immediately it wants to play. And that is what we forget, because we wake up with even thinking about spirituality. I should stop thinking more, stuff like that.
A thought about not thinking so much.
And then if you talk about, how do you start to feel your childish energy again? How do you clean your body? You know, how do you get more happiness hormones to be released inside your body? This is basically a story of letting go, I would say. You know, so our mind and our body are living in the past. You know, it takes about 7 years for all the molecules in your body to be replenished. And so basically, you know, if you have something, it you know, like maybe an injury or something, and you think this is because I'm thinking in a certain way, it may be, but it can be a hiccup of 5 years ago. So it's all about letting go. And then, as you all know, probably mind-body connection, there are two ways of letting go, which is mentally letting go and physically letting go. You know, that is like a distinction that I make. So basically mental exercises and physical exercises. And then there are some exercises that are like, you could say shortcuts, but that would be too easy, and we don't like easy. But like highly efficient tools that are both a mental and a physical exercise, so both a meditation and a physical exercise.
Yeah, that's a great way. That's a great understanding to bring in. There are physical exercises that, as well as with the physical benefits they give you, then entry points as well into mental, emotional, or spiritual well-being. You know, depending on how you see things. But they are entry points. They are what they are, which is they're moving your body. They create benefits innately, inherently. But they're also entry points into other types of well-being. Yoga is this kind of idea, the physical entry point into mind, body, and spirit well-being. And Tim has got such a wonderful tool belt of all these different things he uses, and he has done for such a long time. It's a notification come there. Let's just get rid of that.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We're still live. We're still live. We're still live.
And now, more recently, Tim's been training personally with the legendary Wim Hof, the Iceman. I mean, you know, incredible man that has been featured on Oprah, and he's famous around the world. In the well-being world now, he's just heralded as this superhero, and that's because he does superhuman things. How does he do these superhuman things? Is by utilising certain techniques. Certain techniques with our breath, with movement, and with mental attitudes as well.
It's three things. It's breath, it's mental attitude and movement. So the exercises and the mental attitude are in one pillar. And the third is cold training.
Oh yes,
which can be like showering cold. And it's funny that Wim is he's really a great guy, you know, because he sits at Oprah, but you can, you know, if you WhatsApp him, he gets back and he's like very loving and cool, extremely intuitive and raw guy, but so cool, you know, like. So I was in Poland with doing the teacher training of the Wim Hof method, which I passed. So yay, I can teach that training now. And I was sitting with Wim, and there was this other guy, and he said like, Wim, your energy is so nice and so beautiful. You're really special, something like that. You know, like, hey man, you're my guru. And Wim was like, well, yes, well, okay, thank you, but fuck it. We are beautiful. You are beautiful. It's our energy. It's not my energy. It's our energy. You are beautiful. And that's typically Wim, you know. Yeah. And about the fact that he is supposed to be a superhuman, he says, it's not true. I can teach anybody this method. And that is also, you know, it's spirituality from a physical point of view. And what is funny is that normal spiritual events, like 70% are women, and here it's 70% are men. So it's like exactly at the right time, at the right place, because, you know, we men, we have to make like a little run to keep up with the woman. You know, when it comes to spirituality or personal development or living from the heart, you know. So it's why do I call it spiritual? Because in this breathing method and in this cold training, you know, I've been meditating for about 8, 9, 10 years. I've known moments of silence and ultimate happiness, but in this breathing method and in this cold training, I get to a point where I've never been before. It's like absolute silence. Finally, I understand the Buddha, you know?
Yeah, because and we've been, I saw Tim facilitate this the other night in a group of like 20, 30 people, and he did the breathing exercise, one of the breathing exercises, And at the end, many people said how they felt this incredible stillness. So going through this very energized breathing process. It's highly active. It's not a still surrendering into breathing. This is a kind of a high octane, deep breathing, rapid breathing exercise. And then after that, people feel this stillness, and that's something that lots of people said. And that's again a physical entry point into the emotional experience. We so often fixate on the getting the inside right before we do anything, that's a story that can keep people from doing anything. That helps them. It's a great service to them because, as our friend Dr. David Hamilton says, these things are bi-directional. And what that means is you can have an emotional experience or a mental experience which impacts the body. He wrote the wonderful book, How Your Mind Can Heal Your Body. And we see examples of that with things like the placebo effect, which are examples of the mind actually healing the body through activating innate self-repair mechanisms, and these kind of things. But there's also the things we can do physically that affect us emotionally, and that's what this bidirectionality is about. So, for example, David Hamilton will tell you, if you do a power pose,
let's stand like this,
through a neural association, because the times in your life when you've stood upright and proud and good is when you've emotionally felt confident, embodied confidence and inspiration, things like that. Because of that association, it's bidirectional. So if you do it, you feel it. And so that's why the body, one of the many reasons why the body is a fantastic entry point. And it's so sorely neglected for people seeking in the mind-body-spirit world. And I just want to impart this from a personal point of view. Having experienced debilitating chronic illness and having gone from places of being very unwell, very lethargic and being really downtrodden physically, to then making changes that are so effective and powerful that I've then experienced vitality very quickly next to that. The contrast is just extraordinary. And I wish it was something I could bottle and share with everyone so they could feel it for themselves, the contrast between what actually can become normalized, which is lethargic, unmotivated and all these things, and keep trying to motivate yourself from within yourself when you're feeling physically drained. It's tough. But then going from that to what we should be feeling, which is our innate birthright, which is vitality and which is energy, and which will then translate itself from the physical feeling to taking action in our world and to emotional well-being as well. I'm not saying it's all about physical well-being. You'll have some athletes that aren't happy, that's true. But it is when you're using the entry point of the body, you're becoming physically vital and physically energized, it can completely change things. And if you're coming from both places, which of course is what we want to do, then if you're using two leverage points, within our emotions, in our thinking, and a leverage point within our physicality, and they're both serving us and helping us towards well-being, that's really gonna help the whole process.
It's basically very simple. We have mind and body, and we can think ourselves ill and think ourselves better and whatever. That's from mind to body, but it goes the other way around too. So if you do, like, I believe in light exercise, for example. If you do light exercise, then your body is creating stillness in your mind. And if you do both, the energy can flow.
Yes.
And that's what it's about. So it's not either one, it's and.
But we get kind of fixated on one. We say, oh, that's the answer, because that's kind of a compulsion. It's this or it's that. So it's, it's this. And then one person doing the body and one person doing the mind will argue which it is. But of course, they're both benefiting from the thing that then the other person's doing and they're not. And when we do both, we benefit. I mean, this is, of course, it's kind of common sense. And while we're saying this, it's like, of course. But we're not doing it because of our compulsion to go one way or the other. So what Tim just shares good news at his sessions and talks, because as soon as he says the word exercise, you can see people. When have I come?
The E word.
What have I come for? I come for you to tell me something that then
put
makes me
something
feel
in my
better.
mind,
Tell me to exercise. Everybody's telling me that.
No, but
the thing is, they're very, and this is true because I've experienced this. Short processes, short exercises, even a couple of minutes, as a daily ritual, can be life-changing, and this is a lot of what Tim shares, which is great news.
Yeah. So shall I give you the short template of because we were talking about mind and body. Now, tools for what's happening over there. Storage amount full. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a setting where the video gets recorded on the phone or something.
Okay, so If we're gone, we're gone. Okay. What is a tool for the mind to let go? We're talking about letting go. The more you can let go, the more empty you are, the more of that childish energy can reveal, and the more calm your mind is. Okay, tools for the mind are, of course, finding some form of silence. But then the opposite is also true, and I don't hear a lot of people say this. This is making noise, you know. Look at the child. What is a child doing? Expressing himself, running in the street without any, you know, plan, and just be happy and expressing yourself. So finding silence and making noise. It looks like a paradox because they're both true. They're both tools to silence the mind. But then, what are tools for the body? Okay, of course, nutrition, and I'm not gonna, you know, stay there because you probably have somebody who knows a lot about nutrition. I mean, Richi knows so much about nutrition, so that's obvious. But then another thing that is really, really very healing for the body and the mind, it's to wake up, drink a glass of water, and do like 2 to maximum 10 minutes of exercise. And it's this discipline, so it's like 1 hour. You get like one resting day, you know, someday. Still, you know, there's a bit of Catholicism in me. Sunday is a resting day, 6 days a week, 2 to 10 minutes. So it's like between 15 minutes and 1 hour per week. Everybody can do that. Yeah. But it's so efficient because if you wake up and do a little bit of exercise, and I believe in, if this is your 100%, you train until 50%. So you are changing boundaries, you know, moving boundaries from a soft perspective, not from military, come on, you can do it, you know, peer pressure, from a soft perspective. So you train up to 50%, 2 to 10 minutes is up to 50%. What happens then is you're just like switched on in the morning, and then your whole day you're more energized, you know, more flexible and more energized. And well, that's like the template. And then there are also some exercises that are both for the mind and the body at the same time an exercise. So both a meditation and a physical exercise. And there's this, for example, the Wim Hof method, but there are many more exercises that you actually might know that are training your body and clearing the mind at the same time.
Why don't you show them one, your side to side,
yeah,
more
sure.
Qigong. If you go over here, they'll be able to see you in shot.
Yeah.
And just so this is your take home for this video, is this one exercise. Now Tim always says that if people do this every single day, so it's just a couple of minutes, and he sets this challenge. That if you do it for how long, Tim? You say
2 minutes.
If you do, yeah, but for how many weeks or?
Oh, if you do it for 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months, 2 minutes a day, and you have one resting day, so 6 days a week, and you don't become thinner, you don't change anything else, I buy you dinner. And even, you know, like, it hurts to say, but even if you want to, I take you to McDonald's, okay?
Oh my goodness. This is live, we can't even edit that out.
Right.
So this is how confident Tim is in this, and this is, we think we have to make these big changes. And big changes are cool too, but sometimes they can be problematic. So making these small changes, anybody can do this, what Tim's going to show you, for 2 minutes. And if this is your beginning ritual to the day, you might find that it puts you on an altogether different trajectory for your day.
Yeah, but there's also many people have pain in their low back, and I have it. I too. I have a talent for developing pain in my low back, and this is my exercise to not, you know, to be energetic. Okay, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but you can see. So you put your feet straight as if you're wearing skis, and hip width. So there's 2 hands. They fit in between your feet, and then you stand up straight. You lock your knees and unlock, so you're standing a bit like this. This is Qigong standing. Then you tilt your tailbone under, roll your shoulders back, and release it. And then your chin slightly in. Like this, your back is straight, your knees are bent, and the energy can flow through all your body. Alright, so this is an exercise. So you never ever have to wait in line anymore if you just remember to stand like this. Nobody can see it. You're not weird. You know, standing in line, supermarket, you can stand like this. Maybe if you start humming, you know, a certain moment you become weird, but otherwise not. Now, the exercise to get this energy into your body is very simple. You just twist and you look and you look backwards as much as possible. Okay, so look at me. Now, if you're, that's simple, right? So if you're, you feel low, you have an injury, back pain, you start like this, really slowly. But if you feel good, then the child in you can already come to the surface. And that looks like this. All right?
Great.
So if you have any questions, leave a comment, please. And
before we go, I should say that we're flying Tim back over in a couple of weeks for a workshop. Now, most of the places are taken. There's a few left, so if you'd like one of those, we're going for an afternoon of Tim, sharing some more deeper perspective on this stuff and sharing some more exercises like this one. Simple things, simple but powerfully effective things we can integrate into our daily life without disturbing us too much, but which give us just enormous benefits. And because they're simple, you can do them every day.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it doesn't take this enormous amount of willpower because you're making this enormous change. But the thing you may find is it sets you on this trajectory, which means in a year's time you've made an awful lot of changes, and it's based on a foundation. That's the thing about these techniques. They're a foundation, a daily foundation. It's not so much. It's okay to go to the gym and do the hour or whatever.
It's great.
But this is your foundation.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're already doing that, do this as your foundation and see what benefits you get. If you're not doing any of that stuff, you need to begin changing your lifestyle. Use this as a foundation. Maybe you don't go on to the other stuff. Maybe you just benefit from this. I'm a big fan of the Tai Chi and Qigong principles, which are very much about, like Tim said,
this is
gentle
Qigong.
It's Qigong. It's Qigong. So it's gentle movement that creates big benefits. So,
and if you do exercise like this, if you do this you start with 2 and you build it up until 10. When you feel good, when it becomes joy, you go to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to go to the gym anymore. Your body will be healthier. I mean, I can't promise you, of course, because it's not only this, but for me, I don't have to go to the gym. I don't have to go to yoga. I do my 10-minute exercise every morning, and that's it. And at the Body Zen workshop, I will be teaching also the Wim Hof method breathing. So no cold shower, no cold stuff, only breathing.
Yeah.
And the health benefits of that. And well, I hope you take something out of it. It's basically body, mind, both ways, energy,
and
let it flow.
And keep it simple. A step forward can be a leap in your life. So
Baby step.
Just take it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's time, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Pussy.